split. Belarus, Finland, a few nations came back. India was split. China rose. Japan rose. Russia was split. So a lot of these new states are focusing on their economies and how to adjust to the new world. But one place in South America, which is a dictatorship still, imperialists, and the nation of Canada, or the Liberation League's leader, believes that they should invade South America to put in democracies. And that's exactly what they decide to do. Such a great idea, honestly. So they declare war. Yeah, imagine getting war declared on. Imagine. Like, that's just... Yes, Canada decided to become America in this timeline. Yep. I know, that doesn't even sound right. Saying Canada decided to be America in this timeline, because that's what they became. And in a way, this benefits them. They don't look weak anymore. Oh, yeah. Who knew Canada would become the strong nation? The nation who believes in liberty at all costs. As they start their first invasion, a joint American-Canadian invasion of California. Yes, a joint invasion of California. America got weakened by not having been involved in war, weaker economy. But then imperialism spread across the world. And unifists came after them. The unifists managed to have a victory. As joint American-Canadian invasion goes well, and with the Caribbean, they invade Caribbean nations occupied by Venezuela. And while South America is having a hard time defending their territories. And well, a front line is created along Mexico's border, and it pretty much turns to a stalemate. As they go down Baja California, they even invade the Yucatan Peninsula, believing, yes, this might work, but they end up in a stalemate there. They land near the Panama Canal and move north in Panama and down to the Darien Gap. They can't go any further south. Well, Mexico and these nations are still pretty strong. But are they strong enough? With Venezuela in lots of trouble as more forces, as Britain's forces, Egypt's forces, West Africa's forces, Britain's forces, they have started landing in South America. And well, this leads to this invasion going pretty well, as sets up a front line with Brazil and Peru trying to push them back. Well, they don't do that well. But they do have one problem. Mexico is starting to crumble at the front lines as they get pushed back down the coast. They attempt to launch a counter-offensive, but that fails. And this is a American-Mexican war, this timeline. Well, once Mexico City falls, Mexico is forced into capitulation, which leads to the fall of Panama, which leads to the Venezuelan invasion advancing along this front as Brazil has more to defend. And while the Chilean revolt breaks out, which moves up into Bolivia, with the goal the Chileans will gain independence. With their revolt being almost put down, they try to put the revolt down, Brazil and Peru and Bolivia and Paraguay, but they failed to put the revolt down. Well, this is not good. They couldn't even put a revolt down, an unorganized revolt, as it's basically like the Easter Rebellion in Ireland. With Brazil starting to have problems as a democratic revolt breaks out in the south, with the people demanding a democracy in Brazil. Well, I mean, they got a point. with forces from Canada and America landing with the Chile rebellion. And they quickly helped them hold, and the democratic Brazilian revolt. And Paraguay seeing, what am I even doing? What's my point in fighting this war? What's the point of this war? As they leave. And not long after, a coup d'etat happens. Yes. And after the coup, which happened a few days before they left the war, let me fix what I was saying. And that led to a democracy being restored in Paraguay. Well, the democracy allows Brazilian rebels to hide in their territory. With everybody being happy about that revolt against the team. But like in Brazil is not making it out of this war alive. It appears. As they all thought they could win this war, but with Brazil in a civil war, and Paraguay having left, the chances of victory goes all the way down to 0. As they push to the Brazilian border, and troops start marching into the northern coast of Brazil. And a few troops march into the Amazon. With there being some goals that are really reasonably good. Brazil surrenders, followed by Argentina revolting for independence, because, well, they're not being occupied anymore. Well, let's see how the peace treaty goes. Will America take more than it lost? Well, that's up to the peace treaty. We'll start with Mexico's peace treaty. We'll see how harsh this is. Let's look of Mexico. We got the Republic of Panama, Republican democracy, parliamentary democracy. Yep, I didn't want to mess with it. So there's a few parliamentary republics and a few just republics, but they're all democratic. Well, let's go. And none of them are puppeted. They're just made into democracies. And Canada is there to police it, I guess. We can say Canada polices the world now. And you can see Amazonia came back with Chilean, Argentinian expansion, Brazilian problems, Colombian expansion, Guyana's, Ecuador is brought back. How come they're a different color? Is the world 2 different colors still? Why? Yeah, they are. And in Europe, France requests to join the Democratic League, along with Portugal, Poland, and Ukraine. They request to join it. Portugal, Poland, Ukraine, with France requested to join it. So that means we'll add them in. It was France, Portugal, Poland, Ukraine, and later the Baltics request admission. They are welcomed in. And that's pretty much all for today's video. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Wild Mapper out, but not until you subscribe. Why should you subscribe? So we can get to 3,000 subscribers by December 25th. So please subscribe. Bye, guys!